So, we have to put away our Holitum thinking and get back to who we are as a people and understand that. Otherwise, the governments are going to continue to make decisions over us. And, the world changed in June the 24th, 2014. The Supreme Court of this country said Tsilhqot'in have Aboriginal title. They can make their decisions over their Aboriginal title lands. We have Aboriginal title over South Tamuk. So, that should give us incentive to come together so that we can make good decisions over our territory for the benefit of our future generations.
For starters, we need to get out of the old Indian Act box. The Indian Act has us working as 24 individual communities, whereas we should be the Stalo Nation. Ideally, if not ideally, then tribes. Because it's only tribes and nations that can exert and exercise their title and rights. Indian Act bands can't. So leaders recognize we're all related. We're one people, one language. We've had some historical politics that kind of drove a wedge between us, but in the more recent years, you hear less and less of that kind of talk, that the old kind of politics. It's more about how are we going to work together. And there's some in my view, some pretty neat targets right in front of us that'll really guide and steer us on effectively working together. Our main interest is protecting what's important to us, protecting the land, protecting the environment, looking after future generations. So we're already on the same thought stream. It's what vehicle and what mechanisms can we put in place that'll actually see us operationalize that responsibility to look after, to care for. One of our rules is this is all ours. We have the responsibility to look after it. So every Stalo person could say that, should say that, and make it incumbent upon leadership to find ways to enact it, to implement that principle of looking after what's important to us.
I think our leaders can collaborate, work together, not only the First Nations, but the municipalities and the non-First Nations. It's important for all of us to work together as a group to benefit from a project like the Kinder Morgan, the Trans Mountain Pipeline. There is economic benefits, but there's also an opportunity to build relationships and partnerships for the future. I think it'll expand the capacity of all First Nations to do business in other industries.
I think there needs to be more consultation with the people. I think the way that they form government nowadays is not really from the people's directive. There needs to be more of that implementation of the people and their voice being brought out to the leadership, and then going from there and speaking for the people from that directive.
They can work together by clearly listening to all of their leaders and their elders and their children also, because they can't forget about the children, because a lot of times even the children have ways of bringing out answers to certain complicated questions, and they are also the ones that are interested in having their future, right?
Well, I think what I see from this session, we seem to be slowly coming together and realizing that we do have a common interest, especially if, you know, the First Nations are the ones that are going to be 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 the o a catastrophe does happen, and our common interest is our harvest area. One of our common interests is definitely our harvest area and our traditional territory, and we'll be stronger together as a team. Insignificant impact, I guess, if we were to work alone, because we're so incapacitated. We have no money, we have very few resources. A lot of us are wearing multiple hats.
I believe that we should all come together as a collective and come up with an emergency preparedness plan that we can all, utilize, and if it ever happens, a disaster, that we can all come together and know exactly what to do and not be second guessing and be very well trained in it.